Hi friends, Lindsay here. This is the first in a series of 5-minute-ish videos that you can piece together for a full yoga practice, or that you can just pick apart individually when you just have a little bit of time to sprinkle in all throughout your day. It's so much more beneficial to get 5 or 10 minutes in every day versus trying to carve out an hour and you're only able to do that like once a week. So welcome. We're going to start with breath work and core work for this first video. And when I talk about core, I'm not just talking about six-pack abs, I'm talking about deep spinal stability. Our spine is our lifeline, so we really want to nourish that. I'm going to invite you to go ahead and lay down. This is easiest to access the breath work and that deep spinal support. So if you need a little cushion for your head or neck, feel free to take that. You can bend your knees, maybe feet wide, knees in, just to make your low back most comfortable, whatever shape works for you. Remember that everything is optional, and we want to practice really a lot of loving compassion for ourselves, not moving into pain or forcing anything, just really loving on ourselves in this practice, nourishing our body, mind, and soul. So you can bring a hand to your belly, a hand to your heart. If that's helpful, then relax your arms. Soften your eyes, maybe even let them close if that feels safe to you. Just letting yourself really rest against the support of the floor here. Begin to breathe into and back out through your nose as long as that's comfortable for you. And now start to feel the expansion of your breath against both hands and the space between them. So breathing into your belly, your middle ribs, and your upper chest, and then getting a sense of allowing the breath to expand your lungs and rib cage 360 degrees, front, back, and both sides of the body expand with each breath. And so not really forcing deep breaths, but more so aiming to soften our bodies and our musculature to just simply allow space for greater breath with ease. And sometimes that looks like using our muscles to kind of create space for that deeper breath. It can take a little bit of effort if you're not used to that. So whatever your experience is okay, as long as it feels safe to you. So add this simple count now to your breath. As you breathe out, count up 1, 2, 3, and then as you breathe in, count down 3, 2, 1. And repeating that again in your mind. Exhale, counting 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Let's do that once more together. As you breathe out, count 1, 2, 3, and as you breathe in, counting 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top of that inhale if you can. Soften your skin, your muscles, your upper body. Keep breathing in, letting extra oxygen into your bloodstream, into your vital organs, to your brain. And whenever you need to, let that go with a big sigh. Nice. Those sighs are so good for your nervous system, so do that as many times as you can or want throughout the day. Okay, so now getting into this deep core work. Imagine that you have a hockey puck dial on your pelvis. So we dial the pelvis forward, the tailbone lifts, the belly and low back lift, and then dial the pelvis back, the tailbone tucks, the low back presses into the floor. Do that again. It's like mini cat and cow for your low back. So belly and low back lift, pelvis forward, dial the pelvis back, tailbone tucks, low back touches down. Keep that pelvis dialed back. Keep the connection of low back to the floor. Try to flatten and broaden across the front of your abdomen. Knit these bottom ribs to the core. So imagine you're going to try to do a sit-up here. Engage all of that musculature. Now relax your upper body. So you can bring your arms anywhere that helps you to do that. On an inhale, draw one knee slowly in towards your chest. And on your exhale, slow and controlled, set it back down. Maintain the low back connection to the floor. Inhale, opposite leg draws in. Exhale, slow and controlled, set it back down. Slower the better, really. Relax your upper body. Continue slowly alternating the legs. trying now not to let your pelvis rock. Don't let that dial move, so keep it dialed back. Tailbone is kind of tucked under, reaching forward. Low back, kidneys are puffed against the floor. Broadening across the front of the belly. So imagine you had a string tied around about at your navel. You're going to cinch in all the way around. So our deep core support, deep spinal support wraps the whole torso. We're tapping into transverse abdominis and deep core support, deep spinal support. So you might feel this firing up already. You might feel quite a bit of heat building just even from this seemingly simple, really slow, mindful movement. So you could rest if you need. If you feel like the muscles are fatiguing and your upper body's starting to tense, go slower. And of course you could rest when you need, come back to it when you're ready. If you want to progress from here, of course you could keep just tapping up and down from where you're at, or draw both knees to reverse tabletop, like you were on your hands and knees upside down. Again, relax your upper body, low back stays connected. Don't let the belly button and that pouch below the navel that we all have, don't let that puff up. Aim to keep drawing everything in around the whole waist. And now opposite, tapping down. So you could, again, have both feet on the ground. You're still just drawing opposite knee in, resting when you need. Or from feet elevated, opposite leg taps down. And you could be tapping toes or heels. Maybe you start to vary that a little bit. You start to move the legs a little bit differently so that whether you're lifting or lowering them, you could start to tap or crisscross the legs. Trying not to let that pelvis rock, trying to keep the low back connected to the ground. You could tap them or draw the knees in wide, out to the sides. Slow and controlled, breathing into and back out through your nose, relaxing your head, neck, shoulders, your jaw, your tongue, not using our face muscles for this deep core spinal support. Now you could rest when you need or keep going with that, or switch to big, slow bicycling. Imagine that you're riding this space bike and try to draw as big of a circle with each foot as you possibly can. And be mindful to trace out that whole entire circle. So as one knee draws in, stretch the other leg out and vice versa, but avoid letting your pelvis rock. So keep the kidneys and low back puffing gently against the floor. And you could start to pedal wide. You could reverse that now. And we're working deep core and spinal support, but we're also now getting some big ranges of motion into the hips. Drawing as big of a slow circle as you can. Again, when you start to feel your upper body tense or the muscles really start to get fatigued, go slower and then rest when you need. There's no magic number of reps or amount of time to do this. Just doing it as long as you can, using the muscles we're trying to work, deep core, and not letting anything else tense. So whenever you need to, you can rest by either hugging knees in or stretching your legs all the way out long, whichever way your body feels like it needs or wants to move. Maybe you take your feet and hands up towards the sky, or feet to the sky and arms overhead, and circle ankles and wrists. You could take reclined bound angle or Supta Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet together like a butterfly stretch, letting the legs and knees relax open. You could rest hands on your belly or hands behind your head, or stretch arms overhead to really lengthen all of that musculature out that we've just worked. Take some big, slow, deep breaths now, letting breath expand back in again into your belly, ribs, and chest. Maybe you invite that slow count back to your breath for a few rounds here. Inhaling, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling, 1, 2, 3. Inhaling, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling, 1, 2, 3. If you took that reclined bound angle shape, now stretch the hips opposite. So knees in, feet wide, and you can be still there, or you could rock the knees side to side. So if you have a little bit of time and you want to work that again, you can repeat those toe taps, bicycling, and deep core work, spinal support. And it looks like these videos are actually going to be 10 minutes. So thank you for joining in these 10-minute short practices that, again, you can piece these together. This is a nice warm-up for what I'll share next, or practice this alone. Thank you for taking the time for yourself. Thank you for practicing with me. Peace. Much love.